Hi, I'm Faith McCann, and I've been a witch for over 40 years. And no, we are not evil. Learn more about the magical world and how the magical world affects your world right here on The Magical Alternative. And you don't have to be a witch to watch. Hello, magical ones, and welcome to The Magical Alternative. I'm your host, Faith McCann, and welcome to March, and hello, crew. And tonight, our magical guests will be, we have the second half of our very interesting and thought-provoking interview with the founder of the Temple of Mary and the Prophetess, Dr. Jeremy Weiss, and the Orthodox Rabbi, David McLashley. Give him a hand. We'll be talking about the magic found in Judaism. Well, tonight we have a wonderful musical guest that's going to join us. Unfortunately, November Sound can't be with us tonight, but we're thinking about them and wishing them well. Tonight we have an acoustical guitarist and singer, Mr. Dean Bolt of Acoustical Horizons. So give him a hand. We also have in studio tonight Andy Robbin, Director of Learning and Social Impact for the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. And also in studio, a friend of mine who is the organizer of a Pride Leadership Conference being held locally this June, Dillon Keating. Well, let's get to our monologue. We just celebrated Groundhog Day, and happily, 0 mayors were bitten in the United States this year. That has not always been the case, as some mayors, not to be mentioned, have had in the past a Mike Tyson type of chomp taken in past during Groundhog Day celebrations. This year, I checked, 0 mayors were bitten, and so we're happy about that. So spring will be early or late. Here in southern New England, we Yankees, as we are affectionately referred to, know that spring will come in its own good time. It's in the 30s, has been this whole week, so it's not going to come any faster than it intends to. We received a question recently on our email. If you're interested in sending any questions, please send them to enchantmentct@gmail.com. And the question was, are you a high priestess of Wicca, a minister, a pastor, a reverend? How do you refer to yourself to others? And that came anonymously. Thank you for the question. I am a priestess, technically by rank, and as an instructor and leader of a circle, I'm a high priestess, but I consider myself a priestess like anyone else, learning and guiding others on the path. This goes back thousands of years. I consider anyone that is female in gender a priestess in my school, and any of the males are priests. So it's up to you to choose your gender, and then you can call yourself either a priestess or a priest. No one is above anyone else. It's just where you are along on your path of learning. It's not to be held above another person. It's that when you hold that above another person, I consider that just a power trip. It's, can you teach other people? Are you in a place of learning? So we kind of consider ourselves equal. Other names for priestesses over the ages have been called oracles or pythias. That comes from ancient Greece, sages, wise women, even prophetesses. And we have some very famous prophetesses from ancient history that I'm going to be talking to you about with this really cool book. We have Sarah, Miriam, Deborah, Hannah, Abigail, Huldah, even Queen Esther. I want to talk to you about this book that our friend Dr. Jeremy Weiss wrote. It is Sefer HaShalat Sefer, which is the divination with the 7 biblical prophetesses, the ones I just mentioned to you. And before anyone says this is forbidden according to the Torah, kishuf, which is forbidden magic, do not assume you know us if you do not know us. It is not forbidden magic. Actually, it is Kabbalah Ma'asit, which is practical Kabbalah, and that is acceptable magic. In the Torah and Hebrew Bible, the casting of lots, which is actually throwing of dice or throwing of stones, goralat, is presented not as forbidden sorcery, kishuf, but as acceptable, divinely guided method. It's an acceptable, divinely guided method to determine God's will in critical decisions. Oh, I think you might not believe me, so let me give you some examples. Key instances include Aaron selecting goats for the Lord and Azazel in Leviticus 16:8, Moses allocating land to tribes, Numbers 26:55. Dividing the land, you'll find in Joshua 18:6, that mentions casting lots before the Lord to divide the land among the tribes of Israel. Identifying the guilty, Joshua 7:14 uses lots to determine that Achan was responsible for the defeat at Ai. Choosing leaders, the first book of Samuel 10:20-21 shows Saul being chosen as a king by lots. Ritual use, priests use lots to determine the fate of the 2 goats on Yom Kippur. That's found in Leviticus 16:8. And on a theological basis, Proverbs 16:33 states the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord, indicating that it was seen as a way to access divine judgment rather than by mere chance. While some scholars view this as an ancient Near Eastern practice adopted into Israelite tradition, in the biblical context, it was generally viewed as a legitimate, sanctified method for making crucial, impartial decisions. Now, this is not, so as a book review, and I'm going to do this as a book review and a fun way to start our show, I wanted to use this book. And it's important to understand that we're not using divination ourselves to kind of divine the future. And that's not really what I do. I kind of put my faith in a higher power because I do believe in a higher power. I have been referred to by others as being godless and all kinds of things by people that really don't know me, but I do believe very much in a higher power. And this is kind of putting my belief into a higher power to help me make decisions, especially if I'm not sure. So Dr. Jeremy has written this book, and if you were to get this book, if you're interested, you can find it on the Temple of Miriam website. They've got a lot of cool things there. And he really is a genius when it comes to writing and putting together books like this. So in the beginning, first you will see the 7 prophetesses. You've got Sarah again, Miriam, Deborah, Hannah, Abigail, Huldah, and Esther. And these coins, let's see. Okay, the wheat stands for Sarah. Let's see, the Hamsa hand, if you can maybe zoom in on that, that stands for Miriam. We have a gavel for Deborah, and remember, she was the first judge. We have a fig leaf for Hannah. We've got the Magen David for Abigail. We have got the oil lamp for Huldah, and we've got the crown for Queen Esther. And so how you do this is you put them all in this lovely little pouch that you can get this whole kit on the Temple of Miriam website. You put them in here. You go to the questions. There's 60 questions in the beginning of the book. So many questions you can choose. In what occupation will I find satisfaction? Will my idea be successful? Will my marriage be a happy union? Will I ever achieve the wealth I desire? There's 60 questions. So there's so many that will cover just about any question you might have. The one I chose Number 33, what time of day is the most blessed for me? I'm not going to ask 34, how long will I live? I don't want to know that one, okay? Have I been cursed? Should we divorce? There's some questions I'm just going to stay away from. But I'm going to ask, what time of the day is the most blessed for me? So you ask the question, you put your hand in the bag. There is a moment where you try to do a little bit of a meditation. You try to get to that place of union, with the higher power. But we're going to trust that it's paying attention. And I pick out, well, I've got the wheat now. Okay, so let's look. Who is the wheat? The wheat is Sarah. See if Sarah will give me an answer. This is called bibliomancy. And no, it's not always easy. Most of the time the answers are crazy accurate, but that one I'm not able to determine what the answer is. So let's see if Sarah is a little bit more accurate for me. Okay. I didn't do the first meditation, so that might be what the problem is, but okay. Let me look here. Okay, 23. So I go to table 23. I look at 33, Exodus 38. 38. Okay, so Exodus, I know that's way up here. Okay. Exodus 38. All right, what time of the day? Are you going to give me a time of day? 30. Aaron shall burn it at twilight when he lights the lamps, a regular incense offering before the Lord throughout the ages. It's twilight. That makes sense to me. I love twilight. It's actually one of my favorite times of day. And it actually is the time when I tend to burn my candles, burn my incense. So that's kind of, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So when you do something like this, you do this type of bibliomancy, don't get disappointed if it doesn't make sense at first. Try another one. It really does take a few minutes of meditation to kind of get in touch. So this whole kit comes off of the Temple of Miriam website. You have to get your own Tanakh, or if you have your own Bible that has the Old Testament in it, that's really important. So you might want to try this divination game if you're interested in kind of getting answers to questions you might have. So anyway, that is our intro for tonight. That's our monologue. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you find the interview with Dr. Jeremy Weiss and Rabbi McLashley just as interesting, the second half. Thank you.
Us in the world of Wicca or paganism, we would call this a petition. We would normally burn it up, or
yeah, I would call it a petition too. I mean, I learned it as a petition. I think it's a petition paper. It's a classic petition paper.
Do they leave those in the walls in Israel forever, or do
once a year they clean them out? They have to clean them out because of I think archaeological reasons, and then I think they may burn them. I think, Rabbi.
It's called a kvittel, and kvittelach.
Yeah,
is it's forbidden to give petitions, but kvittelach are completely good. See, it's just a word.
Yeah,
right.
It's
just a word.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people get upset with the word witch or witchcraft, but it's just like Dr. saying incantation is a spell, or it's a prayer.
What the heck? A formulaic prayer is an incantation, but if they call it an incantation, they're ready to burn you at the stake. It's a prayer.
And
it's an
they have.
miracle, magic, macaroni and cheese. Why are we getting so bent out over these things?
Exactly. I think as long as as long as you're coming from a place of love and in a good place, again, it's semantics. I think it's just semantics.
Semantics, yeah.
A friend that
Wars have been started by semantics.
Yeah, a friend of the crew was sick the other day, and so Edie, who's a member of the crew and a good friend who, her father was a rabbi, she brought over some chicken soup, matzo ball chicken soup, swore by it. So is that a spell? Is that a potion? Is that a medicine?
It's all the above. It's all the above.
Yeah, and it was also lovely.
And you know who invented that chicken soup for feeling better?
The Jewish people.
Right, Maimonides.
Yeah.
Maimonides said that chicken soup was good for the soul and restoration.
That's
right?
wonderful. So
yeah,
so we have all of that. Now, I did want to ask you, Rabbi, because you have in your resume, you were or are a rabbi that would go to a big food conglomerate and determine if food
I
was being
supervised
prepared.
kosher food, right, to
Kosher
make sure that the
food.
food preparation was kosher. Actually, what you referenced earlier, the thing about the cheeseburger, right? We were talking about cheeseburgers, and
That's right.
Dr. Jeremy pointed out that the cheeseburger was a Jewish invention, right?
That's amazing.
Well, let me tell you something about the whole thing, is that the laws concerning mixing meat and milk, in Hebrew it's called teruvas chalav v'basar, mixing meat and milk. And in Judaism, it's a big no-no. And the laws are incredibly complicated as to the pots you cook in and what have you. If you cooked like a dairy product in the pot, can it be used for meat? You cook meat, you can't use it for dairy. You have to keep the dairy and the meat completely separate. And then you get
two separate
like, they
kitchens.
ask all these questions when you're learning the laws of kashrut, your daya. Like, well, what if a drop of milk falls into a vat of meat? When is it considered? And we have this concept of what they call batal b'shishim. If it's 1 part per 60, then it doesn't count. As long as it happened accidentally, it can't be done on purpose. All of these laws on top of laws. And the interesting thing is it came from one single verse, one single pasuk. It's called a verse in the Torah. Not to see the kid in its mother's milk. Okay? It was just that one verse. And when you really look at it, you're saying, well, wait a minute. Just one simple verse. In the Torah, you find all these kind of laws that prevent animal cruelty, to show compassion toward animals. Yes. You have what we referenced earlier, the 7 commandments of Noach. One of them is Aver min achai, not to take a limb from a living animal, which in ancient times they'd do that just like plucking an apple from a tree. It was no big deal. But no, you don't do that. You chase away the mother bird before you take her eggs. You don't take her eggs in front of the mother bird. That's morally that develops that results in moral insensitivity, a lack of compassion.
Chicken eggs?
You have to anytime. Yeah, you have to. The mother bird can't see you take their eggs.
Right. You have to chase away the mother bird. You can't take her eggs in front of her face while she's squawking and trying to protect her poor eggs. Oh. And you're just taking them. You have to chase her away so she can't see it.
Yeah.
My family, I came up vegetarian, so you see, we didn't eat meat or eggs or anything like that, so we didn't have that problem.
Vegetarian or vegan?
You chase him, but the poor mother bird's gonna still come back and find an empty nest. Kindness and compassion, chesed, has to extend even to all creation. It can't be compartmentalized. And the thing is, you look at the verse, which is responsible for not being able to have a cheeseburger. It's not to boil a kid in its mother's milk. Because let's face it, that's pretty morally insensitive. Not only you're boiling a kid, you're boiling it in the milk of its own mother? Come on, what's up with that?
But now that only, kid, that refers to a baby goat.
Yeah. That's right.
So the idea is all of these laws that seem to be disparate laws, and in Kabbalah, in Jewish mysticism, especially in Hasidus, and Chabad focuses strongly on that, that in Hasidus, you understand that the mitzvot, the commandment, they're not just these arbitrary laws out there to make your life miserable. Okay? They appear like that on first glance, some of them. I mean, we have laws that are really way out there. I mean, like the law of sha'atnez, which is you can't wear a garment. That's called teruvah semer v'pishtin. You can't wear a garment made out of wool and linen. Now, you go into a situation, Kabbalah, understanding the mysticism. Well, what does the wool represent? So, what does the linen represent?
Yes.
Why are they not permitted to be worn together? There are layers of spiritual and mystical meaning underneath that once you look at it, you say, oh, I see. That's to connect me with this spiritual element. When you're looking at it from
Like
the
a key
outside,
fob,
I mean, you could easily get the impression without understanding the mystical underlying aspect of what the mitzvot mean. You could definitely, I would understand why someone might come to the conclusion that Judaism is the most bat-guano crazy religion in existence, because
Well,
you
what
don't
about
understand the underlying meaning of it, and you're just looking at the surface.
what about the kosher rule against eating pork? Because that seems to go back thousands of years, long before the invention of microbiology and telescopes and microscopes and the understanding of the little critters that cause trichinosis. Yet the Egyptians, to this day, when they dissect an Egyptian mummy, they say that the scalpels they use actually go dull by cutting through the trichinosis egg capsules because they're actually calcified. The bodies are so riddled with it. So the Egyptians obviously ate pork.
Right.
The Jewish people didn't.
And before the age of refrigeration, trichinosis was a significant.
And so
it
this is like
contributed
a very
significantly to,
high
yeah.
level of scientific knowledge and ability. And I'm not going aliens here. I'm just,
But on a completely different
these-
level, you are
these
what you
people were
eat. I'll tell you a
very-
funny story. My mother had a pet pig. We
Okay.
were vegetarian. We were vegetarian. We didn't eat, I even to this day, I mean, I don't eat meat, fish, poultry, or eggs. It's easy to keep kosher that way.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that is in some way a better or a higher. Actually, that's just me. As somebody who's Jewish who eats kosher meat, that's wonderful. It's great. You're elevating it. So, but like I said, I don't impose because I do something. I'm not saying that's the way everyone else has to do it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's not who I am.
this is Temple
But the point
Miriam.
is, she had a pet pig named Chazer. Chazer is the Hebrew word for pork. And people used to ask her, well, what the hell you have a pet pig? I mean, pigs. And my mother said, thank God for this pig. I get a blessing for just not eating it.
Oh, very smart. Very smart.
So in other words, everything has a purpose.
Everything. I like that. I like it.
Everything has a purpose.
But
you
do
don't
you
say,
think
"Oh, okay, fine." Oh, it's disgusting. It's horrible. It's the most mystic. It's a horrible creature. No. If God created it, it has a purpose. It exists. Everything that exists has a purpose. Our challenge is to finding out how to use that which exists for the purpose of tikkun olam, elevating creation, elevating life for me, my family, my community, my country, my world. We're all in it together. There's an interesting story from the Gemara that deals with that. There were 3 people in a boat. One pulls out a little drill, an awl, A-W-L, okay, a small drill, and starts to drill a hole in the bottom of the boat. It's a story in the Gemara. And the other 2 people are looking at this guy patiently, methodically drilling a hole in the bottom of the boat. And they look at him, they say, Meshuggah, crazy person, lunatic. What are you doing? We're all going to drown. And he rebukes them saying, it's no concern of yours. It's under my own seat that I'm drilling the hole.
Oh, no.
which demonstrates that we can't look at and say, oh, well, somebody who's drilling a hole underneath their own seat. If I see somebody creating problems, it's not my community. Oh, well, that's the
Gonna
problem
bring the whole
of the
boat
Mexican
down.
community. That's the
Everyone-
problem of the African American community. That's the problem of this community or that. It's not my problem. No. If we're all in this boat together. If someone is doing something that's going to negatively impact, even though I'm not a member of that community, that's going to negatively impact that community, I have to grab the drill away from the person who's committing that act that's going to cause us all to drown.
I see. Yeah, I see that. I see
Woe
that.
to the wicked and woe to their
That's
neighbor.
right.
Oil Russia, oil Shcheno, right.
Now, Dr. Jeremy, you work a lot with the magical aspects of Judaism. What are some of your favorite things that, that when you really want to work with the magical, what do you gravitate toward?
Well, I'm particularly interested in the history of the Psalms as as a spell book, or the book of Psalms as a grimoire, and the history of it being used as such. And I'm in the middle of, or actually towards the end of, writing the definitive book on this subject. Hopefully, it's about 670 pages. Which includes every single psalm and its history of its magical purpose and magical function, and the holy names to be used in conjunction with each psalm, and how they were changed over time, and who changed them, and what they really were originally, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned, that's coming out. But that's what I gravitate towards when I need practical magic, the Psalms.
That sounds like a very big project. How long have you been working on it?
It's been about 1.5 years, maybe 2, close to 2.
Oh, and you're almost finished.
We're just getting everything in order for the book designer and go to press soon. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that very much. That sounds.
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds great. Everyone, you heard him. So, and I was going to say, one of the things that is one of my favorite magical systems I've gotten from the Temple of Miriam, and I'm pretty sure you can still get it, is the Sefer HaShalat Sefer.
Oh, yeah, that's a terrific book.
It's a good book.
I reference it on a regular basis. I've actually incorporated some of the advice it gives, or some of the things. I've incorporated it into my Kabbalistic tarot reading. And I do Kabbalistic tarot readings, and I've incorporated it because it's so point on. And Dr. Jeremy, I mean, one of the things, Dr. Jeremy has a very profound grasp of how to take esoterica and exoterica and just kind of make it accessible to a very large audience.
Yes.
And that's why I really so admire and support Dr. Jeremy. I can go off on the academics a little bit and sometimes run the risk of losing people. He can just bring it down and just make it accessible.
Right.
And it's a rare gift.
It is.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Weiss and Rabbi McLashley. That was so awesome. We look forward to having you back again. Check out the Temple of Miriam the Prophetess online. The website is right here. Thank you so much. And welcome back. We have a great musical guest for you tonight. I'd like to introduce you to Dean Bolt of Acoustic Horizons with some original music. Give him a hand, everybody.
Thanks very much. This is a love song for my wife, who's hung out with me for over 45 years. Gentle wind, a hawk in flight, misty morning or a starry night. Things of beauty, things so rare. Then I turn and see you standing there. Breathe the air, see your face. I can't imagine life without you in this place. So here you are, you look at me. That's the way I always dreamed it would be. And so here's your song. I'm a-loving you forever till we're gone. And I might just love you a little more. My love for you is an open door. My love for you is an open door. So love goes on like a country stream. Sometimes it's muddy, sometimes it runs clean. A rushing spring, slow summer flow. We'll float together where you want to go. And now here's your song. I'm a-loving you forever till we're gone. And I might just love you a little more. My love for you is an open door. My love for you is an open door. Every time I see you, all I do is stare. I need your morning sunshine like I need my air. So I'll breathe in your smiling face. I can't imagine life without you in this place. And now here's your song. I'm a-loving you forever till we're gone. And then I might just love you a little more. My love for you is an open door. My love for you is an open door. My love for you is an open door. Thanks very much. Up again at dawn, lost sleep, it's what I'm working on. And I don't know where to go. This feeling has got me so wired, that's what it is. Working through some sort of mist. That is what I know, I think. Maybe it's time to take that drink. Don't wanna forget you. I couldn't if I tried. Want you to open your door and let me back inside. Don't you wanna know where this thing went wrong? Why we don't belong? I just wanna hold you, absorb you in my soul, but you remain elusive, impossible to hold. So I'll just go on dreaming. If I ever get to sleep, swear that if there is a heaven, it'll take my soul to keep. Don't wanna forget you, I couldn't if I tried. Want you to open your door and let me back inside. Don't you wanna know where this thing went wrong? Why we don't belong together anymore. Thanks very much.
And that was Dean Bolt. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Tonight in studio, we have an exciting guest for you, Mr. Andy Robbin, who is Director of Learning and Social Impact for the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here, Kate. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So tell me, this sounds like a really big and important job. Director of Learning and Social Impact for the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. What do you do?
So I have the best job in the orchestra
Oh,
because
great.
as the Director of Learning and Social Impact, my job is to take our wonderful music and put it out in the community, and for those who may not have the ability to access it through ticket buying or other means. So that's what I get to do. So I get to get musicians to go out and play throughout the greater Hartford area. So we play in healthcare facilities, we play at senior living places, we go to schools, we'll be outside, we'll put events on at the Bushnell, we'll go to different community centers. So usually it's a smaller group of musicians playing chamber music, but it's wonderful, and I get to spread that music all throughout the greater Hartford area.
Oh, that is wonderful. So and you choose, you just go to these places and you choose which ones, you're the coordinator.
I'm the coordinator. I am not one of the musicians.
Okay.
Usually the way it happens, it's twofold. We have people that approach us, but also, being born and raised in Connecticut, I'm able to reach out to organizations that I think will help fulfill our mission of just having people hear this wonderful music, whether it's St. Francis Hospital or Connecticut Children's Medical Center.
Really?
And it's just a wonderful thing to share. And what's amazing is whether we're at the Bushnell in front of 600-700 people, or we're in a school in front of 40, 50, just the magic of music and how people react and feel and emote, and it's the ability to capture and bring together communities. It's just a wonderful experience.
That is wonderful. Have you ever been at the schools where, your performance really impacts the kids, where they really want to do what they see your people do?
Yes, so we're lucky because we have a great connection with the Hartford schools, our hometown, and we're able to go to lots of different places. So to watch kindergartners react to the way a violin sounds, or to hear a trumpet play and play these beautiful notes that kids may or may not have heard before. And then we also can go up to, we've been in middle schools and high schools where kids who are studying music get to see real live professional artists who've dedicated their lives to music, and being able to get their input on how can I play better? What do I need to do? Why are you doing what you're doing? Can you encourage me to practice, practice, practice?
Yeah.
So that's always a fantastic thing.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, how young can someone be to be in the orchestra?
So our orchestra is comprised of people who audition.
Okay.
So, in theory, it's also a blind audition. So people come in behind a screen, so they really can only evaluate you based on your music abilities.
Really?
So if you are-
nobody sees them, it's just the sound
Right.
coming from behind the
Yes.
screen.
And the historical background on that is back in the day, you would have conductors who would select, the people they play with. So this way, it's based purely on talent. So if you have a musical prodigy that's 5 years old and can just wail away on the bassoon and they win the audition, well, that might be a labor law issue. But anyway, they are welcome. Most of our musicians at least have gone through college and part of a master's degree, because these are world-class professional musicians right here in Hartford, Connecticut.
That is incredible. Do they travel abroad?
A lot of our musicians do, not for the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, but a lot of them teach overseas or attend different trainings that are there. We also are very fortunate to have an international orchestra. We have musicians from all over the place, South America, Europe, Asia.
Do they come from other countries to play here, or when you say international, do they come from here and go there?
Most live in America. Most live in the tri-state area.
Okay. And then they go to other...
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Our Lenny Segal, who is our concertmaster, which is the main violinist, he immigrated here from Russia.
Oh, that's great.
But all of his schooling is in Russia. So it's amazing to hear that. And it's music that brings everyone together.
That brings everyone together,
Yeah,
which
it's a
is the
common
theme
passion.
of today's show,
You got
which is
it.
so perfect.
See
There's
how I
no
worked that right in for you, Miss
I
Faith?
love
You
it.
got
There's no coincidences. And just the ability to bring their talent from their background in the different countries and cultures, and that must be amazing.
It is. And even though the notes they play are scripted and written down and they have to follow that, each person that plays the instrument brings their own personality to it. And when you have those, and we could have as many as 2 people performing, we have as many people as 90 people performing. But the way that not only is the personality of the person holding the instrument, but each instrument kind of has its own character too. And just to watch that together, you realize that music, even how it's written, can be interpreted different ways and heard different ways and brought different emotions and feelings. It's really phenomenal to see. We do lots and lots of different things in different ways. March is a great example of what we're doing. A lot of the first half of March, some of our major events have to do with Women's History Month, which is March.
Yes.
So we're starting off with a program. It's called Press Play, and it takes place at J Under the Dome. And the idea behind that is, how do we make our music relevant and accessible? Because not everyone knows symphonic music or can jump into it. So how can we listen to music in a different way and maybe build a new audience? Yes. So this Press Play series is taking pop music that many people have heard, and to have it performed by a string quartet in a restaurant. That's where J Under the Dome comes in handy. So in the past, we've done, my personal favorite 2 were rock anthems, because you've never really lived until you hear a string quartet play Hotel California by the Eagles, right down to the solos. We've done the 80s. That was one of my favorite ones too. Take on Me by A-ha, Don't Stop Believing. So those are some examples. But we also try to bring in music that may not readily be heard by mainstream or certain themes. So March for Women's History Month, it's called I'm Every Woman, and that would be March 5th. And all the pieces that will be played by our string quartet, which is 2 violins, a viola, and a cello, are women artists. So Rihanna, hopefully I can sneak in some Carole King this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so all the Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Heart, all these wonderful things. Tina Turner, It's just a wonderful show that we're putting together. So that's March 5th.
With a string quartet.
With the string
That's
quartet.
going to be
You
amazing.
can have dinner, you can have drinks, you can have dessert.
And this is going to take place
at J Under the Dome.
Okay.
It's in Hartford,
Yes.
right by the Colt building. That's
Oh.
the dome they're referring to.
Yes.
And I'm sure you want to know if you want to get tickets.
Yes.
Those are, you can go to hartfordsymphony.org, and that's where you can order the tickets there.
Wonderful.
So that starts off the month. I'm telling you, it's a busy month.
It's a busy month.
So
Okay, what else?
Our next program, we have a Masterworks program where it's comprised of, more of the orchestra, and it's a full symphonic sound. And that date is March 13th to the 15th. I'm just going to check my
your
little
notes.
magic notes here. Yeah, March 13th to the 15th. And that Masterworks is called Pines of Rome. We're very excited to have a conductor who went to University of Hartford. Her name is Kalina Bovell, so she'll be our guest conductor that night. And the feature act is our violinist her name is Solomia Ivakiv. She is a violin teacher at UConn. And we're going to have pieces by Frank and Mozart. And of course, you have to have Pines of Rome if that's what it's named.
Yes.
So that takes place at the Bushnell, March 13th to the 15th. Our Friday and Saturday concerts start at 8 p.m. Our Sunday concerts start at 3. We hope you can join us.
Oh.
Anyone in the audience?
That sounds wonderful. Yeah.
And then I'm only going to highlight
Yes.
4 big ones.
Okay.
We also have an artist in residence, and his name is Curtis Stewart. He plays the violin. Our artist in residence program, we try to bring in early career artists who are Black because a lot of our musicians are not. And we want to make sure that we are representative of the community around us. And so the artist in residence, when we find the person who does that, they go into lots of different schools and encourage people who are looking into music. What's wonderful about Curtis and the people before him is that a lot of kids identified to him because they haven't really seen a violinist or professional musician that may look like them.
Yes.
So that makes the thing. So on March 18th at the Artist Collective, which is on Albany Avenue, we're having a free community event where he's going to talk about his career. We're going to have some students performing with him that he's worked with. And it's just a really great night. That would be at 7 o'clock on March 18th. And I mean, we're on the magical alternative, right?
Yes.
So of course we have to pick March, and it's a Pops concert on March 28th. This little guy named Harry Potter, anyone, you know him?
Heard of him.
So he's made a bunch of movies, and we've been showing them every year. So we are now on Deathly Hallows Part 2. So what happens is on the big screen you have music playing with all the dialogue, but all of the music is cut out. So there's a live orchestra that plays the soundtrack of the movie. It's really fascinating.
Wow.
Last year we did The Princess Bride. I brought my own kids who at the time were 19. Actually, the middle didn't come. She had dance. 19, his girlfriend who's 19, and a 10-year-old. They thought it was the best thing ever. And that shared experience of you're watching the film
You're
with
watching
subtitles.
the film, but you've cut the sound, so
Well, you have the sound. It's just the music that's cut out. Played by a live orchestra, which just brings so much flavor and energy. And then you have the whole group,
incredible.
clapping and cheering and watching. It's a really amazing experience.
And that's when? I want to know
According
that.
to the magic sheet, March 28th.
March 28th.
2 shows. I don't remember the time. I think it's like 3 and 8.
And that's so that's a Sunday, if it's at 3 o'clock.
No, that one's the Pops concerts can be anytime.
Oh, it can be.
Masterworks has to be at 8
Oh,
and
I
3.
see. And this is being held where?
At the Bushnell in
Oh, at the
Hartford.
Bushnell. Okay.
Free parking,
Oh,
easy
yeah.
walk across the
Bushnell's
street.
great.
Yeah.
The Bushnell is great.
So
Wow.
everybody is always invited to attend, and we'd love to have you. And I think I'm glad we're talking about this for March because it really shows our different sides of what we can do in a small group, how we engage outside artists, and how we can do the traditional orchestra symphonic thing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm so glad you asked.
Thank you. Now, does the Hartford Symphony Orchestra have a home base where they're located?
Yes. So our offices are in the Bushnell. We are not part of the Bushnell, but we work very closely with them. The majority of our major performances are in the Bushnell. So that's our home base. In the summer, we are in Simsbury. We have the Talcum Out Music Festival where it's more poppy. So I don't know if what we've had has been released yet, but you could hear, we've done concerts with the music of a variety of pop artists through the years, and we bring in usually a band to play with us and with singers, and the orchestra provides the orchestration behind them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
This sounds so exciting. I hope you guys have the opportunity. We're going to put all the information you need right here so you can check this out. Sometimes the end of winter can be really boring and really tiresome, and you just want spring to come. Well, this sounds like something really exciting to do. And listening to music, I know music always makes me feel better. And I love music. So if you have an opportunity to check out the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, we're going to put their information right here. Please do. It sounds like March is just packed with a lot of information, a lot of shows, and a lot of events that I think everyone from the youngest to the oldest would enjoy. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Andy. It was so
you
nice
for
to
having
meet
me.
you
So
and
nice
have
to
you
meet
come
you.
to the Magical Alternative.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone, give me a hand. And welcome back. I'm so excited because I have a special guest that was here in the studio audience, and then I just dragged him up here because we're going to talk about an event we are planning for next year. I'd like to introduce you to a graduate of Enchantment School for the Magical Arts and a very good friend of mine, Mr. Dillon Keating. Give him a hand, everyone. Hi, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
I'm really excited about that. So why
am
don't
as
you take
well.
it off about how we developed this?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say, just I'm a person in recovery from drugs and alcohol. And we have these conferences that are very uplifting. And I wanted to model it after that, especially at a time when there's a lot of, say, just stress around the gay community and any minority at all. At these conferences, there's, different speakers who take different topics, and the schedule that you're given at the beginning of it, it makes you feel like you can pick which ones you want to go to, so you don't feel necessarily like you're trapped at a lecture the entire time. And I just thought that would be so wonderful to bring to the gay community. Because the parades are fun. But for someone like me who doesn't, drink anymore, I think my first sober pride was, the parades are fun, but it's like they walk by and you stay still, and I've got that ADHD, so something interactive that people can participate in, learn something from, and something that would give the attendees talking points to discuss with each other, something very interactive, something where people can really have a reason to talk to one another, get to know each other, network a little bit, rather than, just shopping at the
vendors.
The vendors, yeah.
Yeah. We were approached by the United Methodist Church in Manchester, and we have already locked in the dates for this year, 2026, June 13th and 14th. And we're planning on having speakers like medical professionals that can answer questions and talk about, medical issues that are specific to the Pride community and give resources. Mental health professionals also that can answer questions and talk about specifics. We're looking for all of that kind of thing. And so people can come with their families, make it a family-friendly event, and they can leave with actual information and knowledge so they know where can you go if you have a family member or you yourself need this kind of information, or you're looking, maybe you want to transition, maybe, something like that.
And personally, the information as to where does one go if you have these sort of questions you want to get answered or to find support, it's so scarce that even I find myself learning so much going on as we're doing this, because I didn't have those answers before. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know that, we had certain, I didn't know that we had resources.
Yeah. And we also, a really, really important part of this whole leadership conference, which is really heartwarming to me. First, the North United Methodist Church approached me. It's going to be held on their property. They want to be a really significant part of this because I think a lot of people in the Pride community feel like the whole spiritual part of the community has kind of turned their back on them, and that's not true.
That's why one of the talks I'm most excited for, we do have a speaker who's going to be talking about queer LGBT and cultures and beliefs around the world and throughout history, which is really exciting because for younger LGBTQIA people, it's very easy to look at social media and get the feeling that religious means you don't like us, we're not welcome. But the truth is, for centuries, Native Americans called us the two-soul people. They thought male and female in the same body. We had, our own special place in that community. And, cultures all over the world have proven over and over again that, we've always been here, we've always been everywhere, and not everyone hates us. And as simple as that sounds, it's something that needs to be really, driven home right now.
And so far, in addition to the United North Methodist Church, we have a local conservative synagogue that is really excited about being part of this, which I think is awesome. Universalist Unitarian Church also wants to be part of this. So the more clergy and religious institutions around that are hearing about this, they're coming up to me saying, we want to be a part of this too. So that is just really lovely.
That's so exciting.
And the more, we get this out there, I think the more in the Pride community they'll realize that they really are not being ostracized as much as they might feel. And again, along with other areas of our society, I sometimes feel that the loudest, most negative voices, they're loudest, but they're not in the majority. And so this Pride Leadership Conference being held this year on June 13th and 14th, we're going to be telling you a lot more about it. We're going to giving you more websites that you can check out and more links that you can find out more about it. It is still in the development stage. Of course, you can contact me at enchantmentct at gmail.com if you would like to participate, if you know somebody who would be a great speaker, or if you would like to see something offered at this particular conference on one of those 2 days, please reach out to me because we'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much, Dillon. I so appreciate you for jumping on the couch and being so brave.
Oh, anytime.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you guys. Please check out our brand new, magical, and shiny website, enchantmentct.com. If you'd like to email us suggestions, comments, questions, it's enchantmentct@gmail.com. Is it your dream to be on television, to have your own TV show? So how do you do it? Contact the local public access television station in your town and they'll help you put it together. Get a few friends, talk to the people there, and you'll put your dream into a TV show and make your dream a reality. I want to thank everyone on the crew at CVC. And remember, keep focusing on peace in the Middle East, peace here at home, and peace in the world. Slava Ukraini, America z vami. Thank you. Have a good night, peace, and be safe.